Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day and yes, I reported yesterday that my heater was fixed and it was for about 7 hours and then it stopped again. It is currently 18 degrees in my apartment Celsius. It is set at 24 degrees. Welcome to my world right now, but that's just me. Welcome to my trials and tribulations. But we have some news to go over with the cruise, and we have Princess Cruise Lines coming out with a whole new pricing strategy. And wait till you hear this one. It's really different than almost every other cruise line out there. We have an update on the explosion in Portland yesterday. The generator that exploded and the injuries and what's happening to the passengers on board that ship. And then we have some kind of exciting news. We have a cruise line buying a new ship. And the reason this is kind of exciting is because it's basically tripling the capacity of this cruise line. So yesterday, an explosion happened in Portland on a cruise ship. It holds about 128 passengers and about 82 crew members. It's an American Queen Voyages, small cruise ships, one of those ones that go up and down the lakes and the places like that, little expedition type river cruise, basically, in North America. And they're quite popular and quite well known. They have a really good reputation. Well, unfortunately, in the engine room, apparently a generator exploded, and this was caught, the impact, one crew member who was rushed to hospital. Now, black smoke and everything, came out from the engine room and everything. The fire department in Portland quickly put the blaze under fire very quickly. Great work from the dock workers and the emergency crew there. We had, plus the crew members obviously on board, making sure all the passengers were safe. Nobody else was injured except the one crew member who was caught where the initial blast happened. No real word on the extent of the injuries of the crew member. However, it has been reported that he has arms and hands burns there, but while severe, they are not life-threatening, which is, I guess, good news, bad news sort of thing. It's a shame any injury at all when that happens, and especially burn injuries can be quite severe and very, very painful in the long run to work through. But it could have had an even worse outcome if you think about it. So hopefully everything else is okay, and the gentleman or the crew member, gets the help they need, and hopefully the burns aren't too severe. As far as the passengers are concerned, they were removed to a nearby hotel, and according to the Coast Guard, the investigation and everything, the police is ongoing, underway. They're going to evaluate what happened. They're fumigating. They're getting rid of all the black smoke from inside the cruise ship, and they have absolutely said, yeah, passengers are not getting back on this cruise ship until they've done their investigation and they've checked things out, and the ship has to be looked at and possibly repaired. So it looks like this American Voyages is over for now. Not sure what's going to happen, but I imagine they'll just start sending passengers home, and then we'll be talking about refunds and everything. But that's really the minimum in this case. The most pressing of the story is hopefully the crew member is okay, and I'm glad nobody else was injured. Next, we have the little cruise line that could. We used to have this little upstart of a cruise line. It did 2 little cruise ships out of Florida, back and forth, couple days sailing, 2-day sailings, and then Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, he bought, one. During the pandemic, they had to sell one of their ships because they just had no money coming in, right? They're only a small cruise line. And so they went down to one ship, and they refurbished it as Margaritaville at Sea, and they have been doing very cheap little 2-day cruises for people, and people have been enjoying it. It's a great weekend getaway. It's a great, you know, way to just disappear for 2 days, right? Have a drinking party if you want. Get a college students having a good time. Anything, very cheap. Well, it now seems that they are buying another ship again. And not only that, I think it's called the Costa Atlantica. And this ship has not sailed since the shutdown. It has been owned by Carnival Corporation, part of the Costa fleet. And it has, it's been there, but they're not confirming that the sale is to Margaritaville or anything, but all the rumors pointing to that's who's bought it. And it has been confirmed that yes, the ship has been sold, and the size of this ship is literally double the current cruise ship, which means if they purchase this ship and start sailing it with both ships now, they will have tripled their capacity overnight by buying a ship that holds twice as many passengers as the current one. That's pretty amazing. I guess they're doing much better than anyone ever thought they were in order to afford, or they got this ship really, really cheap because it's literally not going anywhere. No interest in anyone restarting it. There was no thought of Carnival restarting it. They were either going to sell it or they were going to scrap it. And so if you can get a ship really, really cheap, then it's just costing you the refurbishment costs. And hey, if you can triple your fleet, it might be a great move by then. Hopefully they can fill these cabins. That sounds like a lot of fun to have these ships. And a bigger ship means they can have more things on it than just a pool deck and a live band. Well, I wish them all the luck in the world. Okay, next, Princess Cruise Line is announcing a new pricing strategy, and they're going to be rewarding people who book cruises far out in advance. So when, for instance, right now they just announced 2025 sailing. So if you book your sailing now, they are guaranteeing that will be the lowest price that you will pay. In fact, they're guaranteeing it so much, well, based on category and things like this, but they will say, up to 72 hours before the cruise, if you can find an advertised price on their website cheaper than the price you paid, they will price match it. All the way up to 72 hours before the cruise, which guarantees you're going to get that best price. Now, normally what cruise lines do is, after final payment comes in and they know how many people is going to be on the ship, about 3 to 4 months in advance, then they get ready and they start lowering some prices to try and fill up the cabins. And in some cases, for instance, they have, a ton of balconies left, but no inside cabins. So what they will do is they will upgrade people in the inside cabins to ocean view or balcony cabins, which they had plenty of and weren't selling, and then they will relist those inside cabins and fill them because they were the cheaper cabins, easier to sell. Or they will just drop the prices of the balcony sailings, about a month ahead of time to try and bring people in, sometimes at hugely discounted prices. However, there's always a catch, right? And lately, cruise ships have been sold out. There have been not huge deals when getting on cruise ships. There haven't been these big drops. And now Princess is relying on the bookings to continue, that the demand is going to continue. And they're saying, yeah, we're getting rid of those last minute bargains. You're not going to see those last minute bargains anymore. In fact, they're saying that so severely that they have said that they will give this price matching policy. In other words, a week before the cruise, you find a discounted cabin that you paid $3,000 for, and now they're selling it for $1,000. They have to price match you according to this new guarantee. So I think you're not going to see too many of those kind of deals anymore for Princess. They may have price drops and that, but that means people can get their cruise cabin repaired. But it also goes to show you that there's not a lot of discounts out there. One thing you can see with Princess, as a person who's done a lot of groups with Princess, they don't discount cabins because you have a group on board. The only way you can get a discounted cabins if you have groups on board is if you're one of those like KISS. KISS has a KISS group. Well, that's a third party that goes out and they buy the ship. They buy all the cabins on the ship. And then they get that at a discounted rate because they've guaranteed the whole sailing will be full. And then they sell the tickets at what they consider a discounted rate or something like that. Normally you don't get group rates like this with Princess. It's whatever you booked as early as you booked. That's why I like to book the cruises as early as possible, because that locks in that price. So yeah, no more last minute deals on Princess. But then again, if you can find a cheaper price closer to your cruise, they say that they will price match guarantee it starting now. That's pretty interesting. I think people will be checking those prices all the time. But remember, it's for bookings starting now. If you booked 2 years ago and you see something and you're probably not going to be able to get it yet. It's for bookings starting now. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.